As a kid, living with my parents, I was exposed to pretty much every single action and sci-fi film imaginable, so long as they were airing on TV at least, and it didn't seem to matter how many times we'd watched them before. If it was on TV, you can guarantee we were going to be watching it. I had a lot of favourites, from Terminator, Predator, Alien, Die Hard, The Thing. There were a whole host of films that I probably shouldn't have been watching from the age I was watching them, but I understood them all to be what they were. For all the violence and gore and action, they had a premise I could wrap my head around as a kid. Lethal Weapon, though, was different. I didn't understand that sadness in Lethal Weapon. It wasn't something my child mind could wrap its brain cells around. I didn't understand Riggs' suicidal tendencies, his manic self-destruction, or any of the other mental health themes that drove through the central plot. I understood the bits where folk were shooting at each other, but why did he want to shoot himself? That was a complete mystery to me. I suspect that's why I was eager to play any Terminator, Predator, Alien, Die Hard, etc. game that came my way, but I didn't even know a Lethal Weapon game existed until the past few months. How on earth would they make a game that dealt with these themes of suicide so succinctly? With a side-scrolling platformer, of course, with nice chunky cartoon graphics to boot. Now, look, I didn't seriously think they were going to touch on those darker themes of Lethal Weapon, but I also didn't expect them to go straight down the middle line of 90s game development. You could literally paint any theme over the top of this game, call it something else, and it would play exactly the same. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. Firstly, this being Ocean, we get an absolutely incredible intro sequence with kick-ass music to boot. Now, if that doesn't make you want to shoot everything in sight, I don't know what does. The game begins in the police station, where you can swap between Riggs and Murtaugh. Just to note, there's absolutely no differences between the two of them, aside from the colour of their skin and their tolerance for shit based on their age. There are 3 chapters to choose from initially, but a 4th chapter will be opened on completing the other 3. And let me just say this now, there will never be a time when I open that 4th chapter. Not because I dislike Lethal Weapon, it's a well-made, if slightly generic platform shooter, but it is so goddamn difficult. Each mission you take on is made up of multiple stages, and honestly, I've been playing this on and off now for over a month, and even getting through one stage of a mission seems to be a once-in-a-blue-moon affair, for me at least. Your main goal here is simply to make it from the start of the level to the end. You can collect evidence in the form of magnifying glasses, which will give you points. You can pick up ammo because running out of bullets is a possibility, but I don't think it ever happened to me once because I was normally dead before that happened. If you do run out of bullets, getting close to an enemy and pressing fire will perform a melee attack that does more damage than your bullets do. Go figure that one out. I'm going to have to keep coming back to the difficulty though, because it has honestly blown me away. Literally in the case of poor Riggs and Murtaugh. You only get 3 lives to make it through an entire mission, and you do get a health bar to help you along the way, but the instant deaths are everywhere. Falling down holes is incredibly easy due to the knockback you receive every time you're shot, and enemies are super quick to react. They spawn off screen, but in some cases they'll just shoot immediately. Trying to navigate precarious leaps while you're also dealing with enemies is a consistent threat, and it's not helped by controls that feel overly slippy. I'll say it again, but it's such an odd choice for the game to feel like this. Lethal Weapon was an action film with reasonably serious overtones, but why does the game feel so cartoony in the hands? You run with such speed that you can often bump into enemies before you've got time to react, so you have to kind of skate your way to the edge of the screen, stopping every now and then to ensure you don't knock into something lethal. You can take fall damage, something that I hate in platform games like this, but at least it kind of fits a more realistic tone. But then they also put bloody invisible platforms in the game to hide secrets. It's a game with a wicked identity crisis. Does it want to be a homage to the film? Does it want to be for kids? Does it want to be for adults? Does it want to be serious? What does it want? Honestly, the only thing I can think at this point is that it wants me dead. I don't seem to be alone in thinking this. Looking around the internet, I see a lot of folks saying that they enjoyed the game as a kid, but couldn't get too far into it. I'm honestly not surprised. I usually don't put a video together until I've at least completed a decent portion of a game, but after a month or so, I still don't actually feel any better at it. It's a game that requires consistent play in order to memorize exactly where everything is and what to do. It's not one where you can just settle back and enjoy it, and I'm just going to have to tag this onto the end of an unrelated paragraph. But you can't duck and shoot. Why can't I duck and shoot, Ocean? Do you hate me? My frustrations weren't helped by the fact that each time you die, you're booted all the way back to the Ocean logo and have to rewatch that intro again before it'll let you back into action. The intro gets you all worked up and ready for the game when you initially start, but it soon becomes a punctuation for all of your failures, and I started to hate the one thing I like most about the game. So, all in, this is a short review because I simply can't get anywhere near far enough through the game to talk about anything else. I have been defeated, put to bed and ruined. My time with Lethal Weapon is done. Can I recommend it? Probably. It's not a badly made game, it's simply a cruel game, and those who have the nostalgia for it will no doubt pop right back into the driving seat. If I was still a kid, and this was the only game I had to hand, I'm sure I would have played this to death, learned all the tricks, ironed out the kinks in my playstyle, and perhaps even seen it through to completion. These days though, I'm getting too old for this shit. As an aside, this being a short review with themes of mental health, let me just say this to you. My audience is comprised mostly of men in their 30s to 50s according to Google Analytics. I fall within that demographic myself, being a man of the age between 30 and 50. And so I'm very much of the generation that was taught to man up, suck up your feelings, stiff up a lip, stop whining, get on with it, take it on the chin, etc. Let me tell you from experience, this is not the advice to take, and if you are suffering from anxiety and or depression, please seek the help you need. No matter how long you've suffered, no matter how much you think you can do this on your own, and whether you feel as though people care or not, I care. And look, it's very easy to keep plowing ahead and assuming nothing is wrong with you. Maybe you're getting more stressed than usual, maybe you're getting irritated, and yes, it's gone on for a few months now, but it'll be fine, you'll sort yourself out. If that's the case, you may well be suffering without even realizing it, and there comes a point when that delicate thread snaps. If you or someone you know is suffering in silence, please speak up and please listen to those around you. Try not to lash out at those who care about you and can see the changes that perhaps you can't. In any case, look after yourselves and always remember that depression and anxiety are not you. The thoughts and feelings they generate are not your thoughts and feelings. Mental health is a possession, and those demons can be cast out. Look after yourself, guys. Much love.